Hi, this is Jennifer White with the Portage Park District, and welcome to the first of what we hope are many walks with Jen. I am coming to you semi-live from Dix Park in Ravenna, right off of 44. And before I get started, since this is the first in our hiking series, I just wanted to remind everybody, since we're in the middle of this fun special time with social distancing, it is totally okay to come out to the parks. It is totally okay to get your fresh air and get your exercise with your family, with your friends. Just make sure that if you're with someone who is not living in your household, that you go ahead and practice good social distancing. So keep that 6 feet of distance. So I'm going to pan over here and introduce you to my dad. So this is my dad, and this is what 6 feet away looks like. Say hi, Dad.
Hello.
We are on the farm lane, right where this creek crosses the farm lane. I want to draw your attention to what I'm seeing over here, which is the beginning of a really nice vernal pool complex here at Dix Park in the woods. So as you go along the trail, you'll be able to see those vernal pools. And if you're not familiar with what a vernal pool is, they are a temporary body of water that appears in the spring, usually in a wooded area, and they are really a vital part of amphibian development. In fact, some of our amphibians like wood frogs and some of our mole salamanders like spotted salamanders require the existence of vernal pools in order to reproduce. So when these little pools fill with water during the spring, the amphibians will rush or migrate to them, mate, lay their eggs, and start that life cycle over. And if you come back to this same spot in the middle of summer into fall, most of these pools of water that we see now will be completely dried up because they will have already served their purpose. The other interesting thing about vernal pools is that they have an entire special ecosystem of other organisms that reside in them during this time of year. So all sorts of different macroinvertebrates, all sorts of different arthropods and other insect larvae will use these. So really a fascinating little ecosystem, a very special kind of wetland that we have here in Ohio, and Dix Park along the farm trails are a really great place to see them. That green that you're seeing on the tree is not paint. Those are actually lichens that are growing on the tree. We're coming up to the trails here, a little trail sign. If we go straight ahead, we'll be staying on the farm lane. However, if we turn to the left, which we're going to do, we will get on the Trillium Trail, which is one of my favorite trails at this park. And it earned its name easily because during the spring, a little later this spring, it's going to be full of blooming trilliums. So if you like spring wildflowers, this is a great place to come to take a look. This bench here is also one of my favorite spots to sit and take in the view. And if you look right now, we can see this other large complex, which is actually a combination intermittent stream and vernal pools. So some of these areas here will be used for amphibian breeding, and some of them will dry up, and then there is a intermittent stream that runs through this section, or some would call it a headwater stream. We are in the Mahoning River watershed here, so the water that runs through this property drains into the Mahoning River. First it goes to the west branch of the Mahoning River, and then into the Mahoning River, down to the Ohio River, into the Mississippi River, and ends up in the Gulf of Mexico. So we are at the headwaters. Seriously, is there anything better than a bridge? Because it takes you to places that you wouldn't normally be able to easily go. So I'm going to take a pause along the trail here and just point out something I get a lot of questions about. So you'll see these scattered around the forest floor. I'll get close here. That black blob that's there next to the moss is the seed pod for one of our native magnolia trees, which is the cucumber tree magnolia. There's one of those bridges that I love so much. You can see all the ferns starting to pop up. This is a beautiful ridge as the season progresses. What we're seeing now filled with brown will be full of green, and this little vernal pool that's over to the right will be nearly non-existent. You really do owe it to yourself to get out here to Dix Park. Try this trail out. We come up this ridge to the farm lane again. So right here is one of our trail markers. Remember, we were on the Trillium Trail right up on top, and the Fox Trail is directly across from us. And we are going to work our way back down the farm lane trail back to the parking lot. We're going to walk a little ways. I'm going to talk a little bit, and then I'm going to be quiet and let you appreciate the bird noises, because edges where two different kinds of habitat come together are the most productive places, particularly for birds, because there's a great mix of food sources and different types of habitat along the edges.